Hello, I'm Carol Talbot, the creator and founder of the Possibility Hub, taking you beyond the boundaries of who you believe yourself to be and opening up to new possibilities. What gives me a buzz is to make people think and feel differently, to experience the world differently. I love learning, and as a seeker and explorer, I've travelled far and wide, spending over 30 years studying with many wonderful teachers and masters, learning to utilise many different tools, many different techniques to create rapid shifts. I'm the author of You, the Divine Genius, and my passion, my desire, is to create opportunities for an expansion of awareness and consciousness, to allow you to step into a fuller focus of who you really are. This podcast is an advocate for awakening, encouragement, and supporting the development of your superhuman abilities. Just imagine how your life would change if you lived in an open state of awareness where anything is possible. Imagine a journey beyond the boundaries of your everyday reality and to explore the enigmatic concept of time travel. It's a notion that's captured imaginations for centuries. Is time travel merely a product of science fiction? Or could it be a tantalizing possibility waiting to be unlocked by the future? Throughout history, the idea of manipulating time has inspired countless tales of adventure, intrigue, and even cautionary tales of unintended consequences. From H.G. Wells's The Time Machine to blockbuster movies like Back to the Future, time travel has been a fertile ground for storytelling. However, beneath the fiction lies a rich tapestry of scientific theories, from wormholes to relativity, that suggest time travel may not be as far-fetched as it seems. In this episode, I'll be exploring time as well as sharing some controversial secret projects. And ultimately, this episode offers you the opportunity to expand your thinking and explore the nature of time and space. After all, time could be said to be the ruler of your fate. So let's journey through the corridors of time, where the past, present, and future are all intertwined. At the far end of Long Island in the US, there's a place called Montauk Point, where there's a derelict Air Force base. Now, many legends surround this base due to the secrecy and nature of the experiments that took place there. In fact, many believe that the Montauk Project was a development and culmination of the phenomena that occurred aboard the ship the USS Eldridge in 1943. And you may have heard of the Philadelphia experiment. There was actually a movie of the same name that's said to be a fairly accurate account of what actually happened. The Philadelphia experiment alleges the United States Navy conducted a secret experiment in invisibility and teleportation during World War II. And according to the story, in October 1943, the USS Eldridge, a naval destroyer escort, was supposedly rendered invisible to radar and optical observation as a result of an experiment known as the Philadelphia Experiment or Project Rainbow. The experiment was said to have been based on Albert Einstein's unified field theory and aimed at making naval vessels invisible to enemy radar. And some versions of the story also claim that Nikola Tesla's scientific research and theories, particularly those related to electromagnetic fields and resonance, that they were the basis for the experiments conducted on the USS Eldridge. The ship allegedly disappeared from the space-time continuum of the Philadelphia Naval Shipyard, reappearing hundreds of miles away in Norfolk, Virginia, before returning to Philadelphia. Now, while the ship returned in one piece, so that means the project was a success from a material viewpoint, The crew members experienced severe physical and mental effects, including teleportation, time travel, and invisibility-related illnesses. They'd basically left the physical universe and had no familiar surroundings to relate to. And when they returned to Philadelphia Naval Yard, some were planted in the bulkheads of the ship itself. And those that did survive were in a mental state of disorientation and absolute horror. Dr. John von Neumann and his team spent many, many years working out why human beings had troubles with electromagnetic fields that shifted them through different places and times. And what they actually found out was that humans are born with a time reference point. So at conception, an energy being is attached to a timeline, and you start from that point. And it's this time reference point that gives you an orientation point to the universe and how it works. 20 years later, the Montauk Project, like the Philadelphia experiment, involved claims of secretive government experiments involving time travel, mind control, as well as interdimensional portals. And some believe it was a continuation or evolution of the experiments initiated in the Philadelphia experiment. Some versions of the Montauk legend claim that researchers at Montauk were attempting to pick up where the Philadelphia experiment left off by developing and refining the technology used in the earlier experiment. So while the Philadelphia experiment and the Montauk Project are highly controversial, and let's face it, the Navy are hardly likely to admit to these type of projects to the general public or reveal the technology that's really available. And I suspect you probably noticed the amount of programs on channels such as Netflix that delve into the topic of time travel. So my belief is that a lot of what you're shown gives clues to what is either already available, to what is to come, like predictive programming, so to speak. And when you watch movies or a series from this perspective, let me tell you, it can be very enlightening. One such series that caught my attention is called Dark. It's a German science fiction series available that revolves around the intricacies of time travel, intertwined with family relationships and the consequences of altering the past. Set in the fictional town of Winden, the series begins with the mysterious disappearance of a young boy, which quickly unravels a complex web of secrets spanning several generations. Key elements of the show and its connection with time travel include time loops. Dark introduces the concept of a time loop that recurs every 33 years, dating back to the late 19th century. And it's this loop that plays a central role in the unfolding of the narrative and is linked to the supernatural occurrences and unexplained phenomena. The story primarily follows 4 interconnected families, and as the series progresses, it becomes apparent that each family is tied to the time travel phenomena in significant ways, with dark secrets and hidden agendas. Then there's the creation of a time machine by a group of scientists in the 1920s, which set the stage for the exploration of time travel, and this machine becomes the focal point for various characters in Dark and their attempts to manipulate time and alter past events. So Dark delves into the intricacies of time travel, including paradoxes such as the bootstrap paradox, where an event's origin is impossible to determine. So imagine you travelled to the past and handed Shakespeare a copy of his own works. Did you inspire Shakespeare to write them, or did you merely fulfill history? This paradox raises questions about the origin of information, as well as the potential for an infinite loop. Then there's the butterfly effect, which says that small changes in the past lead to significant consequences in the now and in the future. You may also have come across the grandfather paradox, This is a famous time travel conundrum that highlights a potential problem with the idea of traveling back in time. Let me explain. Imagine you have a time machine and you use it to go back in time to a point where your grandfather was a child. Now, if you were to somehow prevent your grandfather from meeting your grandmother, or somehow cause harm to him, it could create a paradox. And here's the paradox. If you prevent your grandparents from meeting or harm your grandfather, it might result in your own existence being erased. After all, if your grandparents never met or didn't have a child, i.e. your parent, because of your actions in the past, then that means you wouldn't have been born in the first place. And this leads to a contradiction, because if you were never born, then how could you have travelled back in time to change things in the first place? The grandfather paradox raises questions about the consistency of time travel and whether it's even possible without causing logical contradictions. And it's one of the intriguing puzzles that scientists and philosophers consider when thinking about the potential implications of time travel. In the Dark series, they also introduce multiple timelines, as well as exploring the themes of determinism versus free will. What astounded me about the series was its complexities of moving back and forth in time, to the point where I thought, how could anyone write something like that unless they had experienced time travel and time distortion in some way? From a theoretical perspective, you have Einstein's theory of relativity. Albert Einstein's groundbreaking theories of relativity have significantly influenced the way that we think about time. According to special relativity, time is not an absolute concept. It's relative to the observer's motion. As an object approaches the speed of light, time for that object appears to slow down relative to an observer at rest, and this phenomena, known as time dilation, has been experimentally confirmed and plays a crucial role in any discussion of time travel. Do you remember the movie Lucy with Scarlett Johansson? Did you watch it? In the movie, she's surgically implanted with a package containing a powerful chemical that leaks into her system, giving her superhuman abilities, including telekinesis and telepathy. Now, of time, she says, time is the only true unit of measure. It gives proof to the existence of matter. And the example given is that a piece of film with a car speeding down the road, speed up the image infinitely, and then the car disappears. And if that is the case, then what proof do you have of its existence? It's time that gives legitimacy to its existence. And in other words, without time, the car doesn't exist. Without time, you don't exist. In the book, Your Brain is a Time Machine, the author draws on evolutionary biology, physics, and philosophy to present his influential theory of how we tell and perceive time. The human brain, he argues, is a complex system that not only tells time, it creates it. It constructs our sense of chronological flow and enables mental time travel simulations of the future as well as past events. And these functions are essential not only to our daily lives, but to the evolution of the human race. Because without the ability to anticipate the future, mankind would never have crafted tools or even invented agriculture. The brain was designed to navigate our continuously changing world by predicting what will happen and when. In essence, the author says that your brain is, and at its core, a time machine. Then you have wormholes and general relativity. And in the realm of general relativity, the theory of wormholes offers a potential pathway for time travel. Now, wormholes are hypothetical tunnels through space-time that could connect distant regions of the universe. If traversable wormholes were to exist, then they might allow for shortcuts through space-time, potentially enabling time travel. So time travel remains a captivating and elusive notion that continues to captivate our imagination. While it's a staple of science fiction and a topic of philosophical debate, our knowledge of physics and the nature of time continues to evolve so that the possibility of time travel becomes clearer and clearer. I'm just going to interrupt this podcast briefly to tell you about the 11-day Mind Power Challenge. Mental power is creative power. It gives you the ability to create for yourself. And if you want to understand how to utilize your mind effectively for good, then allow me to invite you to a free 11-day Mind Power Challenge. Over 11 days, I'll be sharing with you simple, powerful, and effective tools and techniques to awaken and harness the potential and creative power of your mind. It's completely free, and you can gain access by visiting www.thepossibilityhub.com. Karma is a concept from Indian religions and philosophies such as Hinduism and Buddhism. It refers to the idea that your actions in this life and in past lives have consequences for your future. In simple terms, it's the belief that good actions lead to positive outcomes, while bad actions lead to negative ones. In other words, you reap what you sow. So if you seek kindness, give kindness. If you seek love, give love. It also presupposes that if you're unkind or withhold love, then that will come back to you in some way. And this can affect not only your current life, but also your future lives if you believe in reincarnation. So if you do good deeds and accumulate positive karma, you may have a better future. And if you do bad deeds and accumulate negative karma, well, you may face challenges or difficulties in the future. Research shows that about 85% of humanity are involved in some sort of spiritual system that believes in an afterlife or reincarnation. And reincarnation is the belief that after a person dies, their soul is reborn into a new body. And this process continues in a cycle until the soul reaches a state of spiritual enlightenment or liberation, depending on the belief system. It's the idea that life is not a one-time event. It's a series of lives, with each life influenced by the karma accumulated in previous lives. So, if you lead a virtuous life and accumulate positive karma, you may be reborn into a better life or a higher state of existence in your next incarnation. In summary, karma is about the consequence of your actions in this life and beyond, while reincarnation is the belief in the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth of the soul. Together, they form core principles in certain religious and philosophical traditions, shaping how people perceive the moral and spiritual dimensions of their lives. This also means that you can easily become trapped in an endless karmic loop, lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. Well, this is where you can become your own time traveler, which means you don't have to be trapped within the karma of past lives. Once you realize you have the power within the present moment of focus to access cellular memory, to rewrite the dramas within the personal cellular code. So let me use an analogy to illustrate this by using the illusion of your outer world of life events and comparing it to the projection of a film on a movie screen. Consider the present life frame of time and space is the theatre within which the movie of your life is projected. The cellular memory contained within your body cells and DNA represent a long strip of film, the movie of the life dramas belonging to you and other lifetimes. Your present moment focus of conscious attention represents the projection bulb within the movie projector, which enlarges and projects the tiny images on the film onto the screen of your present life. The human body works as a three-dimensional sensory movie projector, and consciousness works as the illuminating light source within the projector that brings the movie to life upon the screen of daily events in your life. The film strip of cellular memory is made up of lots of tiny stop actions, still frames of experiential life drama, just like a movie that you go and watch is also made of many small still action frames strung together. When a strip of movie film is run through the projector at specific speeds, the still frames come to life as moving action projections upon the screen. The genetic time codes within the human body and the grids that hold us in a specific time-space continuum, these are what set the speed at which the film of cellular memory is run through the projector of the body to create the moving life drama of external events. Now, your cellular memory is stored in your DNA and cells as digital data in the form of electrotonal imprints, and it can be compared to this film strip that contains your life drama from this lifetime and also the life dramas from the other lifetimes within your family tree of consciousness. Now, in a movie, if certain still frames within the film strip of the movie become damaged, then the movie is shut off temporarily until a technical expert locates the damaged frames and edits or splices or cuts them out. In other words, edits them. The damaged frames of films are literally cut from the film strip, and then the two loose ends of the film, created from cutting out a frame, are then taped or spliced back together. Now, once the repair is done, then the movie can run again smoothly through the projector. Now, if too many frames are damaged, then a new strip of film with the same images as the removed damaged piece, the new strip of film needs to be spliced or edited back into the movie so that the action sequence still makes sense once it's projected onto the screen. And you're probably asking, how does this all relate to you? Well, cellular memory, as coded in the DNA, operates in the same way as a movie film. Life experiences from this lifetime and others in your incarnational family, which contain traumatic events, work like damaged frames of film when they run through the projector of the body and your conscious awareness. The damaged frames, or rather traumatic memories you have, either project distorted images upon the screen of your life or maybe shut down the running of the body, which is the projector. The damaged memories create energy blockages in the energy fields of the body, the mind, and emotions, which manifest as dis-ease and chaotic life events. To restore proper function in your life, the damaged codes, so to speak, of the cellular memory must be repaired, just as a movie film would be repaired. So your DNA and cellular memory can be viewed as a strip of movie film that contains the life dramas of this and other lifetimes. And like a movie film, damaged frames, or in your case, damaged memories and recordings, they can be removed and they can be replaced. In reprogramming cellular memory, the conscious focus of attention, or the present moment of time, can be used as the technician, and through directed thought and visualization, the memory film can be accessed, viewed, and assessed for damage. Once disturbing memories are located, the mind can literally edit them out and rewrite the memory drama, mentally projecting into the energy field and time-space grids new, positive memories in which harmonious, correct action was taken, editing the new memories in to replace the old, damaging memories. By the way, a little caveat here to make you think. When you are wallowing in the past or said to be living in the past, what's actually happening is that you are representing the past as you remember it in the now. So if there's an issue or traumatic event when you were, say, 2 years old, you can't go back to being 2 years old. What you're doing is remembering and representing that experience of being 2 years old in the now. And the memory and representation of that memory may not be accurate, as it's also coloured by your beliefs, emotions, values, as well as what you've been taught and told. There's that wonderful Mark Twain quote that says, "It's never too late to have a happy childhood." And of course, what he meant is that you have a choice. You have a choice in how you choose to represent your childhood. And like a strip of film, you can also edit those memories. The process of directed mental attention can literally change the experiential imprint stored in the cellular memory and thus change the coding in the DNA, and the DNA is setting the blueprint or film that would be run on the screen of your three-dimensional life. And another caveat here, it may take a number of attempts before the new imprint gathers enough energy to override the old memory imprint. So this is where I recommend utilizing timeline therapy techniques. And while I've mentioned this in previous podcasts, let me briefly explain the concepts behind timeline therapy. Because as you age, memories have more and more influence over your life. Through timeline therapy, you have the ability to change significant numbers of memories in a very short time. In other words, this is a great way to edit your film of your life experiences. Timeline therapy techniques are also an excellent form of brief and quick therapy, offering long-lasting benefits and effective means for changing the chain of events leading to a certain set of unwanted behaviors or states. Past negative emotions, limiting decisions, and memories can be eliminated, allowing you to clear your timeline and in turn heal the cellular memories. Healing cellular memory in this life not only creates healing in your present lifetime, guess what? It also impacts the lives of other lifetimes as well as those around you in your incarnational family. What are called or referred to as past lives are just other experiences that represent different stations of attention. When you access cellular memory, you are, in reality, mentally time-traveling into the consciousness of the other incarnates and lifetimes in your family. When you rewrite the memory imprint that you perceive there, you're providing other choices of action that can be followed by others so that they can choose the new path of development that you implanted to avoid traumatic events in their own lives, as well as clearing the trauma from your personal cellular memory. Remember, cellular memory is living memory of portions of your identity stationed in other time-space realities. So when you change the personal memories of the past or future, you're literally creating new versions of yourself in those past and future time-space realities. I hope you're blown away by this, because your present self is the living cellular memory of your future self. And from the present moment, you have the power to rewrite and create new paths of development for your past and future identities. Time is simultaneous in nature, so actually your past, present and future selves coexist and continually affect each other. Your past and future cellular memory exists within the DNA of the body, some of it active as remembered events, and other portions stored within the so-called junk DNA. This is not junk DNA. That so-called junk is really the pieces of your missing memories and multidimensional identity as it manifests through time. And as you heal up your past and future selves, you heal the content of your present life experience. Remember that time is not nearly as fixed and final as you might suppose. So as we near the end of this journey through the labyrinth of time, let me leave you with a story that captures the essence of hope and the boundless possibilities that time travel can bring. Once upon a time, in a small town nestled between rolling hills, there lived a curious young scientist called Amelia. Now, Amelia had always been fascinated by the concept of time travel, and she'd spent countless hours in her basement laboratory tinkering with her homemade time machine. She believed that if she could unlock the secrets of time, she could make the world a better place. One fateful day, after years of relentless experimentation, Amelia's time machine hummed into life. With a mix of trepidation and excitement, she stepped into the glowing portal and found herself transported to a bygone era. She witnessed historical events, met inspirational figures, and learned profound lessons from the past. What made her journey truly remarkable was her decision to share her newfound knowledge with the world. She returned to her time, determined to make a positive impact. And so it was that Amelia became a renowned historian, using her experiences to teach people about the importance of empathy, understanding, and unity. Her message of learning from the past to create a brighter future resonated with people from all walks of life. Years passed, and the world began to change for the better. Conflicts were resolved through dialogue, and divisions healed as people embraced the lessons of history. Amelia's story became a beacon of hope, a reminder that the power of time travel lay not in altering the past, it lay in shaping the present and future with wisdom and compassion. And so, as I conclude this episode, remember that time travel, whether in the realm of fiction or reality, it holds the potential to transform you and your life positively. It reminds you that every moment is a chance to make a difference, and every journey through time is an opportunity to leave your mark on the tapestry of existence. Thank you for tuning into this episode, and I'm delighted to be sharing possibilities with you. If you want more, then check out the link on my website to the free 11-day Mind Power Challenge at thepossibilityhub.com, or tune into my YouTube channels, The Possibility Hub or Carol Talbot, for new, insightful interviews each week. And if you feel that others can benefit from listening in, then please share, review, or like, or follow me on Instagram, Carol K. Talbot, remembering that you are always more than you think you are.